Okay, so having finally got the full game approved and being about 2 weeks away until I release the full game, here's where we're at. So this week has been pretty interesting. I've obviously managed to get the full game approved, so I'm able to update that and release that whenever I want. Plan of release is still the 28th of February, and I don't intend to change that. So with 2 weeks left to go, I'm still working on a few things. So far this week, I've been updating all of the items. I've been making completely new weapons, armor, and other consumables, and redoing all the images for them. I've been using Gemini to do all the item images, and I've been able to get a lot of images out very, very quickly. That's been really, really useful, and I'm very happy with the way they look. I'm still working on making the images for the armor and the consumables, which I should be able to do in the next few days. Now, really, we are getting towards the end here. I have obviously had people play the demo, and I've updated that at the time of recording, which is the 14th of February. The updated demo I would say, is fairly updated and fairly good. If there's any other errors, then obviously you can let me know. But that's all sort of there on Steam, so that's all cool. So what I really need to be doing at the moment is, or at least moving forward onto next week or the next 2 weeks, is basically playing around the kingdom scene. So the kingdom scene is the primary and the core part of the game, right? The sort of, I guess, like the demo sequence of Acts 1 to 3 is more so the intro in terms of trying to help you learn and understand the game. And the kingdom scene is the main challenge where you face the Council of Seven. So I don't actually know how long it takes to complete all the story. I don't know if the story is too difficult. Like, I know there are certain parts in the story where you have three combat scenes within one, I guess, part of a story. And with my game, I want to try and make it so that, for example, there's no magic potion in terms of healing. So I want to try and make it more realistic. I think what I'm probably going to do is, depending on the difficulty, will depend on how much health perhaps you recover after the fight. For reference, the difficulties is easy, normal, hard, and nightmare mode. So obviously, I'm going to play test those around. I need to make sure stuff is working in the kingdom scene, but generally speaking, in the next sort of 2 weeks, or really, I guess, week and a half, I just want to play around with the kingdom scene and play test it lots, just to hopefully have it in a position where I'm actually happy with it. And just going from there, I know more so probably in that last week, I'm going to be updating my game trailer. I'm probably going to release a developer video on the game as well, and just more so talking about the game and how it's sort of evolved over time. And obviously, I'll update screenshots and things like that as well. But yeah, really looking forward to it. I think, I've come a long way with this, and it's just interesting to see how it goes. I think really, at the end of the day, the main thing I can only really focus on is the experience of the game. If I can, make a good experience, even though I am using a lot of AI with the process, I think that's what matters. A lot of people obviously aren't really going to like the way I do things, but I'd like to think that hopefully someone will like the actual end product that I end up releasing as well. And going from there, yeah, so really it's just sort of updating that. But again, the only other thing I will say is I've been making unique combat actions. So in this instance, combat action used to basically be a situation where the damage modifier went up and down and the hit chance went up and down depending on what combat action it was. Now I'm making combat actions that are very much unique. So you have certain combat action that are more likely to cause bleeding, certain combat action that can just deal, balance damage, certain combat action that could perhaps ignore 3 points of armor, and so on and so forth. But it should be things, and even combat action that can allow you to like counter attack for one turn. So it's basically trying to make combat feel a lot more unique and strategic, where whether you're up against a heavy opponent or even two opponents, it should be in your best interest to figure out what weapon do you want to use, what stats do you want to increase, and what combat actions should you use for different scenarios. But it's all very exciting, at least for me anyway, putting this all together. Um, some of the new stuff I am working on obviously isn't updated in the demo. What I will do is just before I release the full game, I will update the demo version of the game as well. And I'm yet to implement achievements and the Steam Cloud setup thing. I have no clue how to do both of those, but I'm gonna figure that out. And yeah, looking forward to releasing the game. If you haven't played the game already, the demo is available at the moment on Steam, which you can play as well. And yeah, if you've got any feedback, I'd really appreciate it. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.